talk about Brandin Cooks, wide receiver for the Houston Texans, who has seemed entirely checked out for a bit. If you watched that game against the Titans on Sunday, there was a pass where Cooks is running straight down the field. Maybe he could have turned around, run a hook route. I think Mills was expecting that. It was 3rd and long. I don't know if that it would have been a first down had Mills got Cooks on the comeback. Cooks had a couple of steps on his defender too, so maybe you should throw it downfield. Cooks just walked straight off the field, seemed pretty pissed off. He tweeted out on Halloween something rather cryptic, which is, I think, very on brand for wide receivers in 2022. Wide receivers can't just put out something normal. You know, like the reason I'm blocked by Odell Beckham Jr. on Twitter is because Odell Beckham Jr. put out something that was just so deep, and I just responded to him. It's so meta, bro. And he responded like 3 times before he blocked me. I didn't even get to see his responses. On Halloween, Brandin Cooks tweeted, "I played my part and never took it to heart." Then he tweeted, "Don't take a man's kindness for granted. Covered for the lies too long. Those days are done. Crossed the line with playing with my career." Arrow emoji because he is the Archer. I don't know who's ever actually called him the Archer, but I feel no sympathy for Brandin Cooks. I would like the Texans to get some sort of asset in return for him, but the problem is when you give a guy a 2-year, $39 million deal and it's mostly guaranteed, like who's going to take that contract on when the guy hasn't produced it all? And in the biggest moments that he's played this season, he's dropping a fucking touchdown pass against the Denver Broncos. A bad Denver Broncos team. The Texans could have won that game. What happens if he actually catches that pass? Who actually knows? But I don't feel any sympathy for Brandin Cooks. You signed the contract. What the fuck did you think was happening here? What, Nick Caserio told you that the direction of the team was going X, Y, or Z? You believe this organization's going in the right direction? You have been on good organizations. You've played for the Patriots. You've played for the Saints. You've played for the Los Angeles Rams. One of those situations is not like the other. Nick Caserio, because he's in New England, tells you something and you believe him hook, line, and sinker. They paid you a loser tax to keep you in town. You took the money. You seem pretty happy about the money. And it wasn't that long ago that on January 1st of 2021, in an ESPN piece written by then Texans beat reporter Sarah Barshop, Brandin Cooks is not going to accept any more trades after 3 trades to open his career. For me, Deshaun Watson is a special player, and I would love to continue to grow with him. But as far as a team thinking they could trade me for draft capital, I would caution that, well, there's only one team. It's the team that owns you. I would caution the Texans to think twice, is what he should have said. Instead, he said them, because quite frankly, I'm not going to accept any more trades. And so for me, if you want me off your team, you've just got to let me walk and choose my destination. And then he gave the most insufferable fucking line. For me, I've got a newborn son at home, and he's looking for someone to set an example. No, he's a fucking baby. What, a baby needs his dad to set an example about sucking it up, earning $12 million a year to play in football for a living for a bad team? I've got a newborn son at home, and he's looking for someone to set an example. So I think it's for me starting to stand firm when it comes to my career. He wants to stay here because he wanted to play with Deshaun. He continued saying, but when it comes to playing here and playing with Deshaun, I would love to continue that growth. And then he says, but that's out of my hands. Those are decisions that I don't make. But you just said that you wouldn't accept a trade elsewhere. I hope that the team sees the growth that we've been having and continues to show that commitment and growth over the years. Well, that's changed. King of all Twitches says, set an example, play out your contract, and shut up. I would say in 2022, yeah, that's what you should do. I guess Laramie Tunsil has been talking with the Dolphins general manager, Chris Greer, and has been jokingly or seriously texting, hey, get me, come get me. But you don't hear Tunsil bitching about it publicly or pouting in the middle of the field. Cooks is. And Cooks came back. Poor Marine says an infant does not know what his stupid ass dad is doing right now. E315 asks, is it his kid? Yes, I'm pretty sure it's his kid. I would think that he wouldn't care about the example he's setting for someone that's not his kid. But I don't know, okay? All I know is that Cooks looks like a loser here. I get that you wanted out, but you signed up for this. And I think it's weird that athletes get such a benefit of a doubt these days when it comes to signing a contract and then not having to honor that contract. Just sign the contract. If you don't want it, quit, give all the money back, and sign somewhere else. I know it doesn't work like that because you're trying to create a competitively balanced league. So he would have to go through waivers and stuff, and the Texans would have to, have some cap ramifications for getting rid of Brandin Cooks. There would be some dead money, which would suck. You want to have Cooks on the roster rather than not have him on the roster the rest of the way. Though I do wonder now because I'm like, is he actually even going to care anymore? But this was a bad look by him, especially when you just cross-reference it, what he said not that long ago, less than 2 years ago. Things haven't changed that much. Oh, wait, they actually have.